City channel. Thank you for joining us. My name is Sophia Olivas, CEO of EverSmart City.
My name is Mark Anthony, co-founder of EverSmart City. Thank you guys for joining us. It's your first time checking us out. Make sure to like the video and subscribe. Check out more of our content in our previous videos if you've been with us before. Thanks for coming back. Today we're going to talk about the SDG goal number 10, which is built around or based on reducing inequality with and among countries. Sophia's going to start us off with some of the SDG goals and some stats.
Yeah, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 10 is about reducing inequalities, ensuring that no one's left behind. It's an integral part of the SDG goals, because inequality within and among within countries and among countries is a persistent cause for concern. Because even though, despite positive signs towards reducing the inequalities, such as relative income inequality, preferential trade status, things like that, inequalities still persist. And with the onslaught of COVID, the gap has grown even wider, hitting the poorest countries and the most vulnerable communities the hardest. It's put a spotlight on economic inequalities and fragile social safety nets that leave vulnerable communities to bear the brunt of the crisis. And at the same time, social, political, economic inequalities have amplified the impacts of the pandemic. And we're also starting to see mass refugees and the inequalities that come in from the countries that will take them and what they'll deal with and how quickly they'll process their paperwork and whatnot. And on the economic front, the pandemic has significantly increased global unemployment and dramatically slashed workers' incomes. And this puts the risk of the limited progress that we've made thus far on all of these different things. And so some of the statistics I want to kick us off with is that there's evidence from developing countries that shows that children in the poorest 20% of the populations are still up to 3 times more likely to die before their 5th birthday than children in the richest countries. And social protection has been significantly extended globally, yet people with disabilities are up to 5 times more likely than average to incur a catastrophic health expenditure. And despite overall decline in maternal mortality in developing countries, women in rural areas are still up to 3 times more likely to die while giving childbirth than women living in urban centers. And of the 1 billion population of people with disabilities, 80% of those are living in developing countries. And 1 in 10 children is a child with disability. Mark, why don't you let them know how EverSmart City is in alignment with this SDG goal?
Absolutely. So, our this Phoenix development that we're building is really as designed to be a pilot, because our main goal is to be able to build these communities all around the world, for the purpose being to reduce the inequality in ways that our economy that we're growing inside of our communities can become its own global economy, being that we'll be able to be self-sustainable both in providing electricity, providing food, shelter, affordable housing, commerce, and electricity, Wi-Fi, that um, we'll be able to go into different communities and not need any other resources other than our own, being able to really create almost like a borderless economy that isn't that is self-reliant on itself, self-dependent, self-sustainable. And this Phoenix project is really just a pilot for that, to go into these future developments, using blockchain to improve and regulate the monitoring of this global market. And we're going to be hosting hackathons, to both be like almost like a contest for students, as well as use it as a way to strengthen and implement, almost like an open source feature, to strengthen and implement our regulations and some of the things that we do within EverSmart City, and to improve the regulation and monitoring of this global community that we're building. And a part of how we're going to be able to do that is by, with our NFTs that we're launching. Some of them will have different staking and mining rewards or capabilities. It's including the residents will have uh, separate or additional, like, resident NFTs that will allow them to have some sort of voting opportunity or voting rights in terms of um, some of the decisions or the things that we do as a community. They'll be implemented and used. So when we do go into further developments past this first Phoenix, Arizona region, one that will continue to spread this through every market or every community that we go in, creating more equality across different sectors or different markets, different communities, regardless really of the region, because we're providing, as well as education, ensure that people have all the ample financial literacy, that we ensure that they have access to clean water, to nutritionally dense food, to Wi-Fi, to business support, to affordable housing, that they can begin to make more sound decisions, because they're not, uh, all their, what we call as Maslow's hierarchy of needs in terms of shelter, food, water, Wi-Fi. All those needs are met. So now they can start to focus their energy and decision making on things that have different impact and larger impact than just survival, but now the quality and equality of life amongst our communities. Um, as well as be able to integrate uh, new technology, meaning that the businesses in our communities will be able to not only sell products, goods, and services inside the community, but now, through our decentralized network and blockchain, through NFTs, meaning that their products or goods and services can be imported and exported via e-commerce globally, being able to now sell goods and products through stores, through a global network, a global e-commerce network, not just centralized, uh, right there in that community, really equalizing them with the rest of the world, putting them on an equal playing field, knowing, as a business, being able to have reach of every customer on the planet, nobody out of the reach in terms of business to customer relationship, even playing field as the big corporations in the world. Um, so, on top of that, um, some of the other things that we're going to be doing, I mentioned the voting, and the e-commerce. So I think that's about it, guys. I'm trying to think, Sophia, if you can think of
Yeah,
anything
and
else.
we focus on those affected by redlining, including minorities, immigrants, and refugees. And as Mark does his thing to talk to you guys about connecting with us, I'll go ahead and pull up the next screen.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Because we, as you can see, we're love getting into conversations like these, collaborating. We're always looking for partnerships, and organizations that can to help us achieve this mission. We believe that, kind of in the philosophy where it takes a village to raise a child, almost it's going to take all of us to hold each other's hands, to raise us up into this next level of ascension of humanity. And we're always looking to partner with you guys. So you guys can join the Discord, jump in on the conversation with us, get network with us, get to know us. And we'd love to expand this conversation and see where it can lead us next.
Yeah, so let's end with some statistics from the UN. So the pandemic is likely to reverse all the progress, not all, but a lot of the progress that was made in reducing income equality since the financial crisis of 2009. And it's estimated to increase the average GINI for emerging markets and developing countries by 6%. And the proportion of the global population who are refugees has more than doubled since 2010. So for every 100,000 people, there's 1,100 of those that are refugees. But here's the thing that this does not include is the 3 million plus refugees from Ukraine that have since been fortunate enough to get out of the country and seek shelter in neighboring countries. So we've got some challenges in humanity right now, and hopefully you've seen how EverSmart City is looking to provide future solutions to those challenges as we go out. This is EverSmart City, where technology enhances the human experience.